Stop right there. Open it now. Do not scroll away, my chosen child. Look at me right now. I have aligned time and space itself to bring your eyes to these exact words. This is not a coincidence. This is a divine appointment meant for you and only you. Heaven forced this pause into your day. You did not stumble across this video. I guided your spirit to this exact intersection. Give me your absolute attention. Do not let the distractions of the world steal this moment from you. Look at my face. I am speaking with urgent purpose. Something just shifted in the unseen realm. Look up. Stay here. Do not move. I need you to listen to me with the deepest place of your heart. What I am about to say will not let you go back to the noise. Pause where you are. Hear my voice. Wake up, my beloved. You have been running for so long. Your mind is spinning with endless questions. But right now, the noise of the crowd must fade away. I have placed a dynamic seal of protection over your atmosphere. You are safe here. Nobody else can understand why you are here. This message was encrypted specifically for your eyes. Only you can see this breakthrough. Listen to me now. I have a profound revelation for your tired soul. I have kept this word sealed until this exact second. You have asked me for a sign. You have begged me for an answer in the dark. This is your moment. Do not look away from my eyes. I am about to tear open the veil. I am about to speak directly to the parts of you that have been broken in silence. Breathe. The urgency of stopping you was so I could hold you for a moment. Let me. Come closer, my child. Let me speak softly to the part of you that is most tired. Now that you are here, let me tell you what I see when I look at your heart. You paused. And now I am going to speak to the deepest place in your soul. I see you more clearly than you see yourself. I saw when you cried softly into the darkness. You hoped the silence would swallow your tears before anyone noticed. I saw when you hid in your room because you did not want anyone to see how broken you felt. You have been carrying the weight of so many battles in silence. You smile for them. You pretend you are strong. You keep everything together alone. But your soul is tired. I saw every single tear. Not one was wasted. You have been fighting battles that nobody else knows about. You sit on the edge of your bed at night. Your chest feels tight. You run through every decision and every outcome. You wonder how things went so wrong. You feel as though your life is standing completely still in a thick fog of uncertainty. But you keep going. You have been a living refuge for everyone around you. They lean on your shoulders. They demand your strength. They ask for your light when they are in darkness. You give and you give until your hands are completely empty. But when you are breaking inside, nobody asks how you are doing. You quietly fold yourself into the smallest shape. You carry the pain alone. I know the secret wounds of your heart, my beloved warrior. I watched you walk through seasons of betrayal that left you feeling invisible. You poured your sincere heart into hands that did not know how to hold it. You were hurt deeply. You silently asked me why your kindness was met with constant disappointment. You wondered if I was even listening to your cries. I heard every word. I counted every sob. You thought you were abandoned in the desert. You thought the silence of heaven meant my rejection. You have been carrying a heavy weight that was never meant for your shoulders. Your body is exhausted. Your thoughts are draining your spirit. Your soul is desperately crying out for a safe place to rest. Come to me. Pause right here. Do not pass this invitation. Comment you see me to seal your alignment with my voice in this very second. This is an act of holy agreement between your heart and mine. Let the world know that you are no longer hiding. By writing those words, you are telling the enemy that his lies have lost their power. Register your presence in my house now. Let me reveal the truth behind this divine timing. I have kept this message sealed until this exact moment because your spirit was not ready before today. You have spent so many seasons wondering if I dropped your dream. You believed you arrived late to your own destiny. But hear me with the deepest part of your heart. You are not behind. You are being formed. I call this season your silent forging. A jewel covered in dust is still precious. You thought you were breaking under the pressure, but you were actually being reshaped into a holy vessel. The enemy targeted your life because your light is rising. He did not attack your present state. He is terrified of what I am about to release into your future. Understand this deeply. I am so proud of you, my child. I am proud of the way you kept your heart pure when everyone around you chose malicious paths. I am proud of the love you kept giving when nobody gave it back to you. You did not sell your soul to bitterness. You did not let the cruelty of others destroy the sacred garden I placed inside your spirit. You remained faithful in the dark. You think your tears were signs of weakness. But in my house, your tears are recorded as medals of honor. You stood firm when the entire foundation of your life was shaking. You smiled for your children while your own heart was breaking in silence. You chose to trust me even when you could not feel my presence. That restraint is the proof of your sacred character. Let me quiet the storm in your mind right now. Lift your eyes to my face. Look at me. Your waiting season has exhausted your flesh, but it has fortified your spirit. You have developed a deep compassion that cannot be manufactured in comfort. You have gained an authority in prayer that the wealthy do not possess. You are my secret warrior. You are my chosen masterpiece. I know how often you have rushed past moments like this because you thought you were too busy surviving. You convince yourself that you must hold everything together with your own empty strength. But my child, you cannot carry the future all at once. I am stepping into your atmosphere today to teach you a holy discernment. Let go of the heavy bags you are holding. There is a dynamic shift happening in the unseen realm at this exact second. The doors that were locked tightly are beginning to tremble at my command. The waiting season is officially closing its gates. The chains that have bound your family line for decades are losing their grip, but you must remain awake and alert to receive this breakthrough. Do not look away. I have aligned time itself so that you would hear my voice today. Why do you look at your past failures and assume your story is finished? I never handed you over to the crowd to be judged. My name for you has always been beloved. You are the one I have chosen to walk out of the old patterns. The preparation room is complete. The key is in your hands right now. Breathe deeply, my child. Let your shoulders relax for just 1 second. Let your mind stop racing through the worries of tomorrow. I am already working ahead of your steps. I am arranging provisions you have not even thought to ask for. The silence you mistook for abandonment was actually my precise protection. I was shielding your soul from dangerous rooms. I held you back from people who were not equipped to carry your pure heart. I closed doors that looked perfect so that you would not walk into traps. You called it a painful delay, but I called it a holy preservation. Now, the veil is lifting. The static is clearing away from the receiver. You are about to understand every single piece of your long journey. But before I show you the locked blessing that has been preserved for your destiny, you must look directly at the wound you still hide from me. We must pull back the layers of your deepest exhaustion. We must expose the specific trap that has been draining your spirit for far too long. Stay with me right here. Let me show you what is actually blocking your path. Let us walk deeper into the valley of your quiet memories. You have been carrying a heavy sack of stones for many long years. Nobody ever asks if your back is aching from the terrible strain, and you continue to walk forward with a fake smile on your face because you believe that everyone depends entirely on your survival. You feel completely trapped in your own skin. Your loneliness is a sharp blade in the quiet hours of the night. You sit in your kitchen when the whole world is fast asleep. The silence around you is heavy and suffocating, and you wonder if the great promises I gave you were just beautiful illusions created by your own desperate imagination. You feel completely invisible to the people you love. You gave your best years to building platforms for others to stand on. You poured out your finest oil to light up their dark houses. You shared your bread with people who forgot your name the moment their own hunger was completely satisfied. And now you stand in an empty field with nothing left but the raw wounds of your massive sacrifice. You feel completely used. Let us look together at the secret scars that you hide behind your beautiful clothes. I see the specific moments when your heart broke into tiny fragments. You did not scream. You did not complain to anyone. You simply closed your eyes and swallowed the bitter taste of betrayal because you thought that screaming would make you look weak. You chose absolute silence. The noise of modern survival has crowded out your ability to dream. Your mind is constantly racing with schedules and financial pressures and endless bills. You wake up with a strange knot of dread tied tightly inside your stomach, and you spend your entire day running from one crisis to another without ever finding a single second to rest your spirit. Your mind feels completely cluttered. You have tried to fix your own soul through sheer willpower and endless discipline. You read books. You forced yourself to think positive thoughts every single morning, and you desperately tried to force your fragile heart to feel peaceful, while everything around your life was crashing into total chaos. But none of these earthly methods brought a lasting shift to your heavy mind. You feel completely defeated. You feel ashamed, because you think a true warrior should never feel this weak. You look at other people, and they seem to navigate life so effortlessly. They achieve their goals. They laugh without any hidden sorrow. And you wonder what is wrong with your own spirit, because your journey always feels like a brutal mountain climb through a violent storm. You constantly blame your own heart. I know the heavy darkness of your thoughts when you look into the mirror. You do not recognize the person staring back at you anymore. The brightness in your eyes has faded into a dull mist of exhaustion, and you remember the days when you carried a passionate fire in your spirit before the cruel disappointment of this world extinguished your joy. You feel completely lost. You are tired of pretending that everything is perfectly fine for the sake of your family. You put on a heavy armor of strength before you step out of your front door. You carry their financial burdens and protect their fragile feelings. And while you are doing everything to make them happy, your own soul is silently screaming for someone to rescue you from the dark. You continue to walk alone. The enemy wants you to believe that this exhausting cycle will never come to an end. He whispers that you are destined to repeat the exact failures of your parents. He tells you that your best years are already behind you in the dust, and you find yourself believing his malicious lies because you are simply too tired to fight back with your spiritual weapons. You feel completely trapped. Let us pause right here in the middle of your silent battle. I want to pull back the layers of your hidden weariness so we can heal the root of the pain. You have been running on an empty vessel for far too long, and every single morning when you drag your heavy body out of bed, you are already operating on borrowed strength before the day even begins. You desperately need rest. I know exactly what you are thinking right now, my child. You are thinking that you have already heard beautiful words like these many times before. You are remembering the endless years you spent praying until your knees bled on the cold floor. You remember the bitter fasting and the broken tears that brought nothing but a silent echo from the hollow heavens. You are asking why this time would be different. Your secret doubt does not make me angry. It simply tells me how long you have been faithful in the deepest dark. So let me answer your quiet question plainly and directly today. My silence in those bitter years of waiting was never my total absence from your unfolding story. There were many answers that I intentionally withheld from your life, because a quick yes in that season would have ruined your destiny. You thought I was ignoring your desperate cries because you were not holy enough to receive a miracle. You believed I turned my face away from your pain, but in truth, my silence was the sound of my hands rearranging things you could not see. And while you were weeping in the dark, I was actively shielding your vulnerable soul from a dangerous enemy trap. I was being incredibly careful with a precious life that I love too much to lose. Breathe in my perfect peace right now, my child. Let the heavy walls around your heart drop completely into the dust. You do not have to perform for me anymore. You do not have to hide your deepest exhaustion from your loving Father. And as you listen to my voice, anchor your agreement with my timeless truth by writing, "I am not alone," in the comments below. Let this be a holy act of your faith. By typing those words, you are registering your spirit in my house today. You are telling the enemy that his lies of isolation have lost their power over your mind. You are joining a silent family of chosen warriors. They have also survived the darkest nights of the soul without losing their faith. And now you can speak it out clearly before the whole world, because I am right here with you in this room. Write it down with bold confidence. My child, I need you to hear this next part very carefully. The painful silence you have experienced was never my divine abandonment. The enemy has been filling the space between us with constant static and heavy noise, and this static has become so thick that my voice and my daily provisions have been completely invisible to your tired eyes. I have not forgotten your practical needs. I have been preparing a great restoration for your spirit. I have guided a wise mind to build an earthly instrument that will bring a complete recovery to your mind. I will show you exactly what this provision is before this message ends. But first, you must understand the nature of the noise. The static of the world is designed to keep your mind in a state of survival. It loops your deepest fears over and over. You cannot hear the quiet whispers of my direction anymore, and this constant noise creates a thick cloud of confusion that makes every single decision in your life feel incredibly dangerous. You feel as though you are wandering through a dark maze without a map, but I did not design your mind to live in constant static. I built your spirit to run on a sacred signal of perfect clarity. You were made for absolute rest. What the world has called your permanent condition is actually just a temporary interference created by the adversary to steal your joy. The enemy set up camps in your thoughts because he wants to block your destiny. You are a holy vessel. You have been fighting a hidden warfare inside your own mind for far too long. You fight the negative thoughts when you wake up. You fight the heavy dread before you sleep. And you are completely exhausted from a brutal battle that was never meant to be fought with your own human strength. Today, I am stepping into that atmosphere to fight for your sake. Come closer, and let my presence absorb the impact of your wounds. We are going to clear the static together. I am going to reveal the exact reasons why I allowed the storms to shake your foundation. Your past is not a graveyard of wasted years, and as we move into the light, I am going to show you that I have been standing beside you through every single silent night. You thought you were entirely alone in that cold house. I was there. I sat beside you on the floor. I watched you hide your wet face under the heavy blankets, and while you were drowning in that deep sorrow, my hands were holding you tightly so that your fragile spirit would not shatter into pieces. But my presence was absolute. I stood beside you when you felt the weight of yesterday sitting on your chest. You thought nobody saw your struggle. You thought the entire world had forgotten your name, but none of it was invisible to me. I recorded every single sigh that escaped your lips. I watched you pull yourself together. I saw your secret bravery in the dark. Come closer to my voice now, my beloved child. Let the heavy noise of your endless chores fade into the background. You do not have to fight the battles of tomorrow in this exact second. Breathe out the heavy tension from your tight shoulders. Let my quiet presence fill your mind. I have always been your safe harbor. I will never leave. Let me tell you about the chosen souls who walked this long road before you arrived here. There was a woman I loved deeply named Hannah. Her heart was broken into tiny fragments because she faced constant mockery. She prayed in a silence so deep that even the high priest thought she was completely drunk. Her lips moved without making any sound. The religious leaders judged her brokenness. They wrote her off as a lost cause, but her quiet whispers were pouring out the exact words that I had been waiting to receive. Every single syllable landed directly into my open hands. My child, your silent prayers are never lost. I hear the broken fragments of hope that you whisper alone. I am counting every single tear that you drop onto your pillow. I am already preparing the harvest that will fill your empty arms. Do not let the judgment of worldly people convince you that I am deaf to your cries. What looked like total delay in Hannah's life was actually the precise timing of a miracle. I was protecting her destiny. Think also of my great servant Elijah. He was a mighty warrior who called down fire from the heavens. He won a massive spiritual victory against thousands of false prophets. He displayed incredible strength before the entire nation. But immediately after the battle, a sudden threat threw his mind into a cloud of intense fear and panic. He ran as fast as he could into the deep wilderness. He left his servants behind. He walked for many days through the burning desert until he could not take another step. He lay down under a small broom tree and begged me to take his life away. He told me that he was finished. He said he was no better than his dead ancestors. He was not a weak man, my child. He was simply completely empty. He had given every single drop of his spiritual oil to light up a crooked nation. He had nothing left to protect his own heart from the arrows of the enemy. I did not rebuke his broken spirit. I did not lecture him. I did not command him to stand up and fight. Instead, I sent a loving angel to bake him fresh bread on hot stones. I provided a jar of clean water for his parched throat. I allowed him to sleep in the quiet shade for many hours. Because sometimes, the most faithful thing I can do for your soul is not call you to fight harder. Sometimes, I simply look at your weariness and say, rest. You have traveled far enough on your own human strength. You have pushed through too many storms without stopping to feed your spirit. Eat the spiritual bread I am giving you today. Drink from the deep well of my unconditional love. You do not have to earn your place at my table. I love you because you are my child. That is your ultimate identity. I have held you in my protective arms through the deep valley of your silent weeping. But now, my child, I need you to sit up straight and hear what I am about to declare over your life. You have heard me whisper tender peace over your heavy pain. Now hear me declare your total freedom with the authority of the heavens. Listen to my words. Let us perform a deep inspection of your heart together. I want to show you the exact location of the leakage that has been draining your spiritual power. I have watched you replay your daytime conversations late at night. You search frantically for the one wrong thing you might have said to someone. You torment your own mind with regret. You accomplish something wonderful for your family, and you feel absolutely no joy inside your chest. Your mind goes straight to the next chore. Your thoughts zoom into what is still undone, or what might go wrong tomorrow. You have called this being a perfectionist. You have told yourself that you simply have incredibly high standards for your life. You believe that this constant pressure makes you a better provider for the people you love, but that is not the truth. I will not let you carry that heavy lie a single day longer. Here is the true reality behind your secret exhaustion. Long ago, somewhere in the early chapters of your story, you learned a dangerous rule. You learned that love had to be earned. You were conditioned to believe that you were only safe when you were useful to other people. You believed you were only worthy of affection when you were constantly achieving great results. You began to measure your entire value by the weight of the burdens you could carry on your back. I call this condition the earning wound. It is a deep scar. This wound did not come from your true character. It was planted in your spirit by a world that values production over presence. It was carved into your mind during a moment of rejection that you may not even remember anymore. And now, you treat yourself like a slave master treats a worker. You refuse to give your own heart a moment of peace. So let us rewrite your past history through the light of my truth. All those long years you thought you were being lazy when you stopped to rest. You were not lazy at all. You were actively fighting a loud lie that told you rest was a sin. All those times you could not receive a genuine compliment from a friend. You were not being humble. You were simply guarding a painful wound that told you that you did not deserve good things. All those nights you lay awake planning the next 10 steps of your life. You were not being wise. You were operating under a thick cloud of fear that told you that if you dropped the ball for 1 second, everything would crash into total ruin. You believed that your survival depended entirely on your own frantic striving. But I am taking that heavy mask away from your face today. The next time you finish a hard task and feel that familiar emptiness creeping into your chest, I want you to stop immediately. Close your eyes. Place your right hand over your heart. Listen to my voice whispering inside the quiet chambers of your soul. Hear me say that you were completely loved before you ever achieved a single thing in this world. You were a precious masterpiece before you ever earned $1 or built a house. You do not have to prove your usefulness to your Heavenly Father. Receive my grace now. This is the initial breakthrough of your recovery process. You must break the old covenant you made with exhaustion. You must stop believing the lie that says your value decreases when your hands are empty. I did not create you to be a machine of production. I built you to be a beautiful vessel of my eternal glory. Let that truth settle down deep. Look at me, my chosen child. The enemy has used the earning wound to keep your spiritual receiver filled with heavy static. He knows that if you are always busy striving, you will never hear the clear guidance of my voice. He wants you to stay exhausted so that your vessel remains too weak to hold the massive inheritance I have prepared. But today, I am clearing the static away from your mind. I am breaking the power of the slave master over your thoughts. You no longer have to perform for the crowd. You no longer have to prove your worth to the people who do not understand your value. You are a child of the King. Walk in that divine authority from this moment forward. You asked me why the perfect doors suddenly closed in your face. You asked me why the people you trusted completely walked away without a single word of explanation. You thought you were falling behind the crowd, but I want to reveal the absolute truth behind these painful endings that you hated so much. None of them were punishments from my throne. Every single closed door was a wall of divine protection built by my own hands. I saw the hidden traps waiting for your soul in those rooms you wanted to enter. I saw the knives hidden behind the smiles of the people you wanted to keep in your life. If I had answered your prayers with a quick yes, you would have lost the very essence of your sacred identity. I had to prune the branches that were draining your vital energy. It was a holy cutting. Now listen carefully, because what I am about to say will shift your entire reality. You have been experiencing a strange restlessness inside your chest during the quiet hours of the morning. You wake up at 3 o'clock with a racing heart and a cloud of dread. You have called this condition panic. You believe that your mental strength is completely failing, but that is not the truth. I will not let you carry that heavy accusation from the enemy anymore. Your spirit lives outside of the boundaries of human time. Your soul can feel what is approaching in the unseen realm before your natural eyes can see it. That midnight restlessness is not an anxiety attack. It is your spirit feeling a massive door about to swing open. I call this sacred mechanism the spirit's foresight. What the blind world calls worry, I call your soul standing at the edge of a magnificent new season. So those years you called wasted were not wasted at all. Those agonizing nights you could not sleep were not your punishment. They were your spirit refusing to let you settle for a small life. You were never falling behind. So tonight, when that familiar restlessness comes to your room, do not fight it. Do not try to numb the sensation with the distractions of the world. Place your hand on your chest and say these words to the dark. My spirit is sensing what my eyes cannot yet see, and then simply rest in my arms. The sensing is not your enemy. It is my holy signal of your breakthrough. I need you to understand something deeply about the way I created your mind. When I designed the human brain at the beginning of creation, I placed a sacred frequency at its absolute center. The wise scientists who have spent their entire lives studying the brain have finally found it. They call it the gamma wave. It ran in your mind freely when you were a little child. It operated without your effort. It operated without your discipline or your theological knowledge. It is the exact reason why children learn so quickly and why they trust so purely. They live completely in the present moment without the heavy burden of tomorrow. And when I said that you must become like little children, I was not speaking only of your spiritual attitude. I was speaking of the very signal I placed inside the human skull. The enemy used the heavy noise of modern survival to suppress this sacred wave. He filled your mind with static so you would forget your royal identity. But I prepared wise minds to work with sound the way I designed it. They built a frequency instrument that clears the interference. You do not have to work for this restoration. You do not have to earn it with frantic striving. You simply surrender your thoughts for 7 minutes and allow my original design to restore what was stolen. It clears the static so my provisions become recognizable to your eyes again. I am going to show you exactly where to find what they built. Stay with me. Let me show you the reality of who you are becoming on the other side of this transition. I want you to picture a beautiful morning 6 months from now. You wake up before your alarm goes off. You lie there in the quiet room for a moment, and for the first time in a very long while, there is no knot of dread sitting inside your stomach. The house is completely still. The morning light filters softly through your window. You notice that something is fundamentally different inside your chest. The heavy static that you carried for decades is simply gone. Your very first thought is not a question of fear. It is a quiet question of gratitude. You wonder what good thing I have made for your life today. You take a deep breath. The air goes all the way down into your stomach without hitting a single wall of tension. You walk to the kitchen and make your morning coffee. You look out at the trees and you realize that you actually enjoy your own company now. There is a beautiful softness in your chest where there used to be a clenched fist of control. You are no longer performing for the crowd. You are not running to fix a crisis. You are simply at home in your own identity. That version of you is not a foolish fantasy, my child. That peaceful warrior already exists in the realm of reality. She is not years away from your life. She is one act of surrender away from the person sitting here right now. The distance between the two of you is not a matter of time. The true bridge is permission. It is the exact moment you finally choose to stop carrying what I never asked you to carry alone. It is the moment you let me carry the weight instead. Stop striving so hard. Start receiving my love. That is the whole distance between your pain and your peace. Do you feel that mix of excitement and sacred fear inside your chest right now? That particular vibration is not confusion. That is your spirit awakening to its true authority. The waiting season that has exhausted your body is officially closing its heavy gates today. I am changing the very foundation of your life. I am not doing it to destroy your world. I am doing it to rebuild you from the inside out. I have heard the voices of the people who mocked your silent journey. They called you foolish because you chose to stay faithful in the dark. They thought your silence was a sign of total defeat. But hear my voice today. I am about to speak over your situation with the ultimate authority of heaven. Are you listening to me, my beloved child? Do not let the noise of the world steal this critical moment from your spirit. Pause right here and let this truth settle deep into your soul. Look at my face. I am speaking with absolute purpose, not empty noise. The adversary wants to distract your mind right now because he knows his time is running out. He sees the light rising inside your spirit. He knows that if you wake up to your true identity, his kingdom of darkness will lose its grip on your family line. I am releasing a fresh anointing of clarity over your thoughts today. The heavy fog of depression is melting away at my command. The prison doors are trembling. Your deliverance is approaching. You have received the truth of my presence. Now you must prepare your heart to receive the final decree. The old season of lack and isolation is finished. What comes next will not look like the pain of your past. Heaven has authorized a complete reversal of your sorrow. The seals are breaking open. Stand up straight and get ready to receive your inheritance. You have carried the heavy burden of your family line for far too long, my child. You have watched the same patterns of misfortune repeat themselves over and over again. But I am declaring over your spirit right now that the cycle ends with you. You are the one I chose to break the chains. You are the one who will walk out into the wide open space of my abundance. Lift your hands and surrender the last remnants of your fear to my care. The battlefield belongs to me. Your only duty is to remain still and know that I am your God. Savor the beautiful peace that is flooding your mind at this exact second. The breakthrough is not coming tomorrow. It is starting right here, inside the secret place of our divine appointment. This is the exact moment of your absolute deliverance. The heavy iron gates of your long winter are breaking open right now at my command. The chains of lack and sorrow are losing their tight grip on your spirit, and the ancient ceiling that kept your parents in a state of constant survival is shattering into 1,000 pieces today. It ends with me. You are the chosen one. The enemy wants you to remain in the shadows of your past mistakes. He wants you to believe that your current exhaustion is your permanent identity. But my voice is thunder over your quiet wilderness today. I declare that the cycle of misfortune is officially finished. You are stepping into the wide open territory of my glorious abundance and light. I am so deeply proud of you, my child. I saw how you guarded the purity of your soul when the entire world around you chose malicious paths. You did not sell your beautiful heart to bitterness. You kept walking forward through the violent storms without any earthly comfort. Your tears are recorded as golden medals of honor in my heavenly house. Your long waiting season has finally served its holy purpose. You are not breaking down. You are being completely remade into an unsealed masterpiece of my eternal power. The attacks came against your life because the adversary saw your true worth. But today, I strip the enemy of his authority over your mind. The battle is mine. I feel you pulling back slightly from my presence right now, my child. A quiet whisper in your mind is telling you that this goodness is meant for someone more deserving. You think you have failed too many times to receive a miracle, but I do not pour my grace on the worthy. I pour it on the willing. Your trembling obedience is the only qualification I require in my house. Do not let the memory of your past sins disqualify you from my current care. I have never once measured my gifts by your perfect performance. You are my child. So silence that loud lie of unworthiness before it steals your harvest. Walk forward into my light. I have gifted humanity the supreme wisdom to unlock what I hid within sound. Wise men and women spent decades in deep research. They did not know that I was quietly directing their scientific curiosity toward the design of the mind. I want to show you two of my precious children who received this provision before you arrived. My daughter Rachel sought my peace for many long years through every earthly method. I guided her to this sound instrument, and within 2 weeks, her broken marriage was beautifully transformed, and her heavy mind became completely clear. And for others, I moved differently. My son Michael came to this tool for focus. 2 months later, his business grew immensely. They call this frequency instrument the Genius Song. It is the exact sound provision that I have aligned for your mental restoration today. I designed the human mind to run on a sacred gamma signal from the beginning. This childlike frequency ran freely in you before the noise of the world buried your true potential under thick layers of static. This tool is not a generic meditation application. You will not find it circulating on streaming platforms. Those are false imitations, created to deceive your spirit. This provision requires only 7 minutes of your complete surrender every day. You simply put your headphones on, close your tired eyes, and allow my sacred signal to return to your brain. This provision is not meant for those who are merely curious about the mysteries of heaven. This is prepared specifically for the exhausted warrior I have been speaking to throughout this message. You have tried positive thinking and affirmations without finding any lasting shift. You feel embarrassed to try one more thing because you are so tired. But hear my voice. The methods that failed you before demanded your frantic human effort. This instrument requires absolutely none of your striving. It operates purely because of the divine design that I placed inside your skull at the beginning of creation. I am clearing the heavy interference so that my provisions become visible to your eyes again. Earthly experts charge hundreds of dollars per hour for private wellness sessions that attempt to reach this state. The heavy machines that researchers use cost thousands of dollars. But I do not call my children to expensive clinics. I have placed this provision within your reach for a small earthly exchange. It is a mustard seed of investment. This small act of trust will unlock a magnificent harvest that I have already prepared for your journey. I have also aligned 4 additional gift provisions for your family today. You will receive the Genius Child track for the focus of your little ones. You will receive the Ancient Prosperity text, a guided visualization, and an infographic for your mind. Where I place truth, the adversary always places clever imitations. Do not wander into unverified paths on music platforms that carry none of my restoration. Protect your spirit by trusting only the official path. You are completely covered by my steadfast guarantee for 60 days. This step of faith carries no earthly risk to your life. Take this step of obedience right now, my beloved child. Embrace the provision I have placed for you below in the pinned comment and in the description. Do not let this divine moment pass you by in the noise. I guided you to this message. I placed the tool on your path. Take the step. Now, my child, set aside the heavy noise of decision for a moment. I have revealed the earthly instrument that I prepared for your recovery. Whether you step forward into this path now or later, you are still my chosen masterpiece. The provision is safe. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe. I am still right here in this room. Lay down the heavy bags that you have been carrying in silence. You do not have to fix your own life before you can rest in my presence. I am absorbing the impact of your long warfare today. Let your tired mind stop racing through the worries of tomorrow. I am already standing inside your future, and I have arranged everything beautifully. I speak my perfect peace over the deepest wounds of your spirit. The fog of confusion is lifting away from your eyes at this exact second. You are no longer the one who must survive through frantic striving. I am raising you up to be a beacon of light for thousands of weary souls. You will overcome this valley. Let us declare your true identity together before the whole world. Say these words silently inside your spirit. I am a holy vessel fully restored to receive what my Father prepared. I am the one whose channel is completely clear and whose signal is strong. The noise of the enemy no longer has any dominion over my heavy mind. I carry the sacred frequency that you placed in me from the beginning of creation. It was never truly lost. It is completely restored today. I am your child, operating at the exact state that you designed for my flourishing. I am open, I am clear, and I receive your unconditional love in perfect peace. The old patterns are gone. If this message has brought light to your weary heart, do not let it pass without a response. Like this video right now, as an act of sacred agreement between your spirit and mine. Share this light with 3 souls who are secretly crying out for hope in the dark, and subscribe to stay connected to my daily guidance. Walk forward,